The chubby forest umbrella of the big-headed mushroom in the forest after the rain, a plump and big-headed mushroom emerged. It was called Pang Pang. The chubby canopy is like a light brown umbrella spread out, big and thick. The handle is short and chubby, feeling smooth to the touch. It also carries the fresh scent after the rain. The rabbit mother always says, "Chubby is a little fortress in the forest." The canopy can shelter from wind and rain, and his heart is especially warm. That early morning, the little ladybug Dion had just woken up when it encountered a light drizzle. It was so anxious that it spun around on the grass leaves, fearing that its wings would get wet. Pang Pang quickly shook the umbrella cover and shouted, "Dion, Dion, come to me to take shelter from the rain." Dion flew onto Chubby's umbrella cover. Its tiny body was just covered tightly. The raindrops made a rustling sound on the umbrella cover, but it wasn't wet at all. Flapping its wings, it said, "Thank you, Chubby. Your umbrella cover is stronger than leaves. It's so reassuring to hide here." In the morning, the sun gradually came out, making the ground warm and cozy. Little Aunt Guago led the team to carry sugar grains and was so exhausted that she lay on a stone, gasping for breath. Pang Pang quickly lowered the big umbrella cover, creating a shady area. "Little ants, come and rest your feet." The ants lined up and crawled into the shade. The cool breeze carried the scent of the earth. Guaguo waved its antennae and said, "Brother Chubby, your umbrella cover is even more comfortable than the shade of a big tree. You can even smell the fragrance after the rain." At noon, little hedgehog Cookie got lost in the forest and was growling with hunger. Pang Pang remembered the wild strawberries in the grass beside him and quickly used the handle of his umbrella to gently push aside the weeds, revealing the red fruits. "Cookie, come and have something to eat." Cookie bent over and ran over, munching on strawberries in big mouthfuls. She shook her spikes at Pang Pang and said, "Thank you, Pat. You can not only keep cool but also serve as a guide. Strawberries are so sweet." In the afternoon, the little boy Lele from the neighbor's house came to explore the forest. By accident, he fell and scraped his knee. He sat on the ground in so much pain that he wanted to cry, but at a glance he saw Pat Lele. Walked over slowly, sat under the plump umbrella cover, and pressed her knees against the cool handle of the umbrella. The pain immediately lessened a lot. He touched the chubby umbrella cover and said, "Chubby, you are such a considerate companion. Your umbrella handle is even more comfortable than a small cool towel." In the evening, a few more dark clouds drifted over the sky. Pang Pang thought of the little cricket Lele, which lived under the withered leaves. Its little nest had no shelter. Pang Pang quickly moved his body and firmly placed the umbrella cover over the withered leaves, as if holding up a sturdy little umbrella. When the raindrops fell with a drip-drip sound, Lele was singing under the umbrella and smiling, saying, "Thank you, Chubby. Your umbrella cover works better than a small tent. I didn't get wet at all." The setting sun dyed the forest a warm yellow. The friends gathered around Chubby and held a small sharing session. The little ladybug brought nectar. The little aunt brought sugar grains, and Lele brought sweet cookie crumbs. Pang Pang stood in the middle, its umbrella shining gently in the setting sun. It said, "I'm the happiest to be able to help everyone." The mother rabbit smiled and said, "The plump umbrella cover is very thick, but a kind and warm-hearted heart is even more precious." When the moon rose, Pang Pang was still standing in the forest, like a tiny lantern. Because of the big head mushroom Pang Pang, this small forest has become warmer and more reassuring. Such days are more pleasant than sweet strawberries and make people feel happier than thick umbrellas. The farm adventure of Chick Gigi. Beside the chicken coop on the farm, there is a fluffy little yellow chicken hopping around, chirping Gigi. Gigi's down is like a little yellow ball that has been sprinkled with sunlight. Its round black eyes are bright and shiny. Its red and pointed beak pecks at things with a tap-tap sound. When it runs, its short legs roll around very fast. The mother chicken always says, "Gigi is the little curiosity on the farm." It's not very brave, but it always loves to run errands for everyone. That early morning, the little ducklings, unable to find their mother, were circling and quacking in the yard. Gigi quickly flapped her little wings and ran over. "Gagas, follow me." It led the duckling through the vegetable garden, around the pile of firewood, all the way to the pond where the mother duck was waiting. The gags jumped into the water and shouted to Gigi, "Thank you, Gigi. You are such a reliable little guide." In the morning, the sun rose slowly, making the ground feel warm. The little ants carrying breadcrumbs were so exhausted that they lay on the stones, gasping for breath. When Gigi saw this, she quickly ran to the shade of a tree and blocked the sunlight with her body, as if holding up a small yellow velvet umbrella. "Little ants, come and rest." The ants hid under the awning and licked the grass seeds that had fallen on Gigi. The team leader waved his antennae and said, "Thank you, Gigi. It's even more comfortable here than the shade of leaves." At noon, the little Master Duardo's hairpin fell into the flower bed, and she was so anxious that she searched everywhere. Gigi heard the commotion and quickly crawled into the flower beds. With her small pointed beak, she carefully picked out the hairpin and gently placed it in front of Duadvu. Duadvu held the hairpin in her hands, smiling and patting Gigi's head. "Thank you, Gigi. Your little pointed mouth is more dexterous than a small pair of tweezers." In the afternoon, dark clouds drifted over the sky and it seemed that it was about to rain. Gigi remembered the corn kernels drying in the yard and quickly called over the mother chicken with a Gigi sound. She also used her body to support the bamboo basket and helped carry the corn into the warehouse. When the raindrops pattered down, the corn was already safely in the house. Grandpa Farmer smiled and said, "We are so capable." In the evening, little hedgehog Kuki came to visit the farm but couldn't find her way home. Gigi quickly raised her little voice and made a GGG sound, leading Kuki through the path all the way to the farm gate. Kuki bent over and said, "Thank you, Gigi. Your cries are more effective than road signs." The setting sun dyed the farm a warm yellow. The friends gathered around the chicken coop and held a small sharing session for Gigi. The little duck brought dried fish. The little ant brought breadcrumbs, and Duardwa brought sweet millet. Gigi pecked at the millet, her round eyes shining. She said, "I'm the happiest when I can help everyone." The mother chicken smiled and said, "Gigi's little yellow down is cute, but her warm-hearted heart to help others is even more precious." When the moon rose, Gigi lay beside the mother chicken, listening to the whispers from the farm, feeling warm in her heart. Because of the little chicken Gigi, this small farm has become more lively and warmer. Such days are more delicious than sweet millet and more endearing than the fluffy body. A heartwarming story of a giraffe soaring high on the grassland. On the green grassland stands a tall giraffe. Its name is Gao Gao. The tall neck is like a long slide with beautiful brownish yellow patterns on its body. Its 4 long legs are steady and solid. The small horns on its head are fluffy. When it lowers its head, it can touch the ground, and when it raises its head, it can reach the top of a big tree. The zebra mother always says, "Gao Gao is a big friend on the grassland. It is tall and kind-hearted. All its friends love to ask it for help." That early morning, the little squirrel Tao Tao was pacing around anxiously under the tree. It wanted to pick the red fruit at the top of the tree, but the tree was too high to climb up. Hearing the commotion, Gao Gao slowly walked over, bent his long neck, and said, "Tao Tao, climb onto my back quickly." Tao Tao climbed up to his shoulder along his neck and easily picked the red fruit. Holding the fruit, he said, "Thank you, Gao, Gao. Your neck is more useful than a ladder. The fruit is so sweet." In the morning, the sun made the grassland warm and cozy. Little hedgehog Kuki couldn't find a shady spot and lay on the ground listlessly. Gao Gao quickly spread out his big ears, as if holding up 2 large brown cooling fans, and gently fanned Kuki. "Kuki, come and cool off." The cool breeze made Kuki squint her eyes and arch her body, saying, "Thank you, Gao, Gao. Your ears are more comfortable than fans. The wind is cool and refreshing." At noon, the little antelope, Mio Mio, couldn't find a source of water and was panting for breath due to thirst. Gao Gao remembered the hidden spring in the distance and quickly led Meow Meow towards it. From time to time, he lowered his head and shouted, "Follow me. We'll be there soon." Meow Meow drank the cool spring water and immediately perked up. She waved her sheep's horns at Gao Gao and said, "Thank you, Gao Gao. You are such a reliable little guide. The spring water is so sweet." In the afternoon, the little girl Duardwo from the neighbor's house came to the grassland to play. She wanted to touch the little bird in the tree, but couldn't reach it. Bending his neck gently and tenderly, he let Duadu climb onto his back and slowly raised his body. Duadu reached out and touched the feathers of the little bird, happily clapping her hands. "Gao, Gao, you are so nice. Sitting on your back, it feels like standing on the top of a small hill." In the evening, dark clouds drifted from the sky and it seemed that it was about to rain. Gao Gao saw a group of little ants hiding under a stone. He quickly stood beside the stone and stretched out his body as if setting up a patterned small tent. When the raindrops pattered down, the ants hid beneath them, smiling and saying, "Thank you, Gao, Gao. Your body is stronger than a leaf shed." We haven't got wet at all. The setting sun dyed the grassland a golden red. The friends gathered around Gao Gao and held a small sharing session. Tao Tao brought red fruits, Qiu brought wild fruits, and Duo brought sweet carrots. Lowering his head high and munching on a carrot, his long neck swayed gently, and his heart felt warm. Mother Zebra smiled and said, "She is tall, but her helpful heart is even more precious." When the moon rises, it stands high on the grassland, like a gentle little lighthouse. Because of the tall giraffes, this small grassland has become warmer and more lively. Such days are more pleasant than sweet spring water and more reassuring than long necks. A clever note on the flat seabed of the blue flatfish in the shallow bay. There swam a special blue flatfish. It was called Bian. The flat body is like a smooth blue leaf, and the silver blue scales emit a soft glow. The belly is flat and adheres to the seabed. When swimming, it looks like a flying little blue silk. The mother fish always says Bian is the little smart thing at the bottom of the sea. Its body is special, and its way of helping others is even more special. That early morning, the little hermit crab Bibi couldn't find a suitable shell and was worrying on the sandy ground with its old shell on its back. Bian swam over, used his body to push aside the pebbles at the bottom of the sea, revealing the beautiful conch shell hidden beneath Bibi. "How's this new home?" Bibi burrowed into her new shell, waving her little pliers and saying, "Thank you, Pingbian. Your eyes are brighter than little lanterns. Your new home is so comfortable." In the morning, the sun shone through the sea. The little shrimp, Meng, was afraid of being discovered by the big fish and hid in the sand pile, not daring to move. Bian quickly swam to Meng's side, allowing her to hide under her broad body. She slowly changed her posture to block the sunlight. "Don't be afraid. I'll shield you." Meng lay beneath Bian, calmly looking for the plankton. "Thank you, Bian. Your body is safer than a stone. Don't be afraid anymore." At noon, little starfish Xing accidentally turned over and couldn't come back no matter how hard she tried. She was so anxious that she shook her antennae. Bian swam over, gently pressed his body against the side of the star, and slowly and forcefully turned it over. "Star, don't worry, I'll help you." The star regained its posture and slowly crawled towards the coral cluster. "Thank you, Bian. Your strength is even more stable than a small cart. You're so reliable." In the afternoon, the little boy Lele from the neighbor's house came to the seaside for snorkeling, hoping to see the little fish at the bottom of the sea, but he just couldn't find them. Bian saw it, swimming gently in the water. Her silver blue body drew bright water ripples, as if leading the way. Lele followed the water ripples and saw many little creatures at the bottom of the sea. Smiling, she waved at Bian and said, "Bian, you are such a smart friend." The bottom of the sea is so wonderful. In the evening, a small current suddenly blew from the bottom of the sea, and the sand and gravel confused the eyes of the little seahorse, Dion, Dion, Bion. Bion, Bion quickly swam to Dion, Dion's side, blocking the water flow with her body and gently wagging her tail, allowing the clear water to slowly rinse Dion, Dion's eyes. Dion, Dion wagged her little tail and said, "Thank you, Bion, Bion. Your body is more effective than a small shield. Your eyes are much more comfortable." The setting sun dyed the sea surface a warm orange. The underwater friends gathered around Biambian and held a small sharing session. Bibu brought smooth pebbles, Mengmen shared fresh plankton, and Lele scattered fish food through the water surface. Flat on the seabed, its silver-blue scales glistened in the setting sun. It said, "I'm the happiest when I can help everyone in my way." Mother Fish smiled and said, "A flat appearance is special, but a kind and intelligent heart is even more precious." When the moon rises, its moonlight spills into the ocean floor, and its flat body resembles a small blue jade. Because of the blue flatfish Biambian, this small bay has become more peaceful and lively. Such days are more pleasant than the seaweed at the bottom of the sea and more dazzling than the silver-blue scales. Out on the flat seabed of the blue flatfish in the shallow bay, there swam a special blue flatfish. It was called Biambian. The flat body is like a smooth blue leaf, and the silver-blue scales emit a soft glow. The belly is flat and adheres to the seabed. When swimming, it looks like a flying little blue silk. The mother fish always says that Biambian is the little smart thing at the bottom of the sea. Its body is special, and its way of helping others is even more special. That early morning, the little hermit crab Bibi couldn't find a suitable shell and was worrying on the sandy ground with its old shell on its back. Biambian swam over, used his body to push aside the pebbles at the bottom of the sea, revealing the beautiful conch shell hidden beneath Bibi Howe's this new home. Baby burrowed into her new shell, waving her little pliers and saying, "Thank you, Pingbian. Your eyes are brighter than little lanterns. Your new home is so comfortable." In the morning, the sun shone through the sea. The little shrimp Mengming was afraid of being discovered by the big fish and hid in the sand pile, not daring to move. Bian Bian quickly swam to Mengmeng's side, allowing her to hide under her broad body. She slowly changed her posture to block the sunlight. "Don't be afraid. I'll shield you." Mengmeng lay beneath Biambian, calmly looking for the plankton. "Thank you, Biambian. Your body is safer than a stone. Don't be afraid anymore." At noon, little starfish Xing Xing accidentally turned over and couldn't come back no matter how hard she tried. She was so anxious that she shook her antennae. Bion Bion swam over, gently pressed his body against the side of the star, and slowly and forcefully turned it over. "Star, don't worry, I'll help you." The star regained its posture and slowly crawled towards the coral cluster. "Thank you, Bian Bian. Your strength is even more stable than a small cart. You're so reliable." In the afternoon, the little boy Lely from the neighbor's house came to the seaside for snorkeling, hoping to see the little fish at the bottom of the sea, but he just couldn't find them. Biambian saw it swimming gently in the water. Her silver-blue body drew bright water ripples as if leading the way. Lele followed the water ripples and saw many little creatures at the bottom of the sea. Smiling, she waved at Bion Bion and said, "Bion Bion, you are such a smart friend. The bottom of the sea is so wonderful." In the evening, a small current suddenly blew from the bottom of the sea, and the sand and gravel confused the eyes of the little seahorse, Dion Dion. Bean. Bean quickly swam to Dion Dion's side, blocking the water flow with her body and gently wagging her tail, allowing the clear water to slowly rinse Dion Dion's eyes. Dion Dion wagged her little tail and said, "Thank you, Bion Bion. Your body is more effective than a small shield. Your eyes are much more comfortable." The setting sun dyed the sea surface a warm orange. The underwater friends gathered around Bian Bian and held a small sharing session. Bibi bought smooth pebbles, Meng Meng shared fresh plankton, and Lely scattered fish food through the water surface. Flat on the seabed, its silver-blue scales glistened in the setting sun. It said, "I'm the happiest when I can help everyone in my way." Mother Fish smiled and said, "A flat appearance is special, but a kind and intelligent heart is even more precious." When the moon rises, its moonlight spills into the ocean floor, and its flat body resembles a small blue jade. Because of the blue flatfish Bienbian, this small bay has become more peaceful and lively. Such days are more pleasant than the seaweed at the bottom of the sea, and more dazzling than the silver-blue scales. The heartwarming underwater story of the pink octopus Tuon Tuon beside the shallow coral reef. There lives a soft pink octopus called Tuontion. Tuontion's body is like a little pink jelly. Its 8 long tentacles carry round little suction cups. When swimming, it looks like a dancing pink flower. It can also flexibly grasp things and change shapes. The octopus mother always says Tuonchuin is a little magician at the bottom of the sea. With nimble tentacles, her heart is warmer. That early morning, the little starfish Xing Xing accidentally got stuck in a crevice of the coral and couldn't move at all. When Tuonchuan saw this, he quickly swam over, gently hugged the coral with his 8 tentacles, and slowly pushed open the gap. "Star, don't worry, I'll pull you out." The stars slid out through the gap, waving their antennae and saying, "Thank you, Tuonchuan. Your tentacles are stronger than small hooks, and saved me." In the morning, little seahorse Dion wanted to hide in the seagrass, fearing that the big fish would discover it. Tuonchuan quickly rolled up the seaweed with his tentacles and wove it into a soft little nest. Dion, come here and hide." Dion burrowed into the seaweed nest and wagged its tail at ease. "Thank you, Twit. Your tentacles are more dexterous than a little tailor's. Your little nest is so safe." At noon, the new shell of the little hermit crab Babay was covered with a lot of mud and sand, which couldn't be wiped clean. Tuanchuan dipped his tentacles in the seawater and gently wiped it as if using a small cloth. He also moved the suction cup to suck away the stubborn mud and sand. Bye-bye, it'll be clean soon. Bibai looked at the shiny new shell and waved her little pliers, saying, "Thank you, Chuan Chuan. Your tentacles are more useful than small brushes. Your shell is so shiny." In the afternoon, the little girl Duardua from the neighbor's house came to the seaside for snorkeling, wanting to touch the beautiful corals but couldn't reach them. Tuanchuan saw this and wrapped a tiny coral flower with her tentacles, slowly swimming up to Duodbu and gently touching her palm. Duodwa smiled and clapped her hands. Tuan, you are such a gentle companion. Your pink tentacles are so cute. In the evening, a small current suddenly blew from the bottom of the sea, and the little shrimp Meng Meng was swept hither and thither. Tuan Chuan quickly spread out her 8 tentacles, like opening a small pink umbrella to block the water flow. Meng Meng, come and hide here. Meng Meng hid under the umbrella and firmly grasped Tuan Chuan's tentacles. "Thank you, Tuan Chuan. Your tentacles are stronger than a small shield. I'm not at all flustered." The setting sun dyed the sea surface a warm pink. The underwater friends gathered around Tuan Chuan and held a small sharing session. Xing Xing brought smooth little shells, Bibi brought fresh plankton, and Duardwo scattered fish food through the water surface. Tuan Chuan lay beside the coral, her pink body shining in the setting sun. She said, "I'm the happiest when I can help everyone with my tentacles." The mother octopus smiled and said, Tuan's pink tentacles are cute, but her helpful heart is even more precious. When the moon rises, its moonlight spills into the ocean floor, and the fluffy tentacles seem to be coated with a layer of silver powder. Because of the pink octopus Tuantuin, this small coral reef has become warmer and more lively. Such days are more pleasant than the nectar at the bottom of the sea and more endearing than the pink body. Sunflower Yang Yang's garden sunshine record in the corner of Grandma's vegetable garden. There is a tall sunflower. The little girl, Lele, named it Yang Yang. Its stem is straight, like a small green pillar, covered with fine down. The most eye-catching part is the flower head on the top. The golden petals seem to have spread a circle of sunlight. In the middle of the flower head, there are numerous small compartments, hidden unripe sunflower seeds, like being studied with tiny green gems. Yang Yang has a special habit. No matter where the sun turns, its flower head will follow suit. In the morning, it faces east to wait for the sun. At noon, it faces south to chase the sun. In the evening, it faces west to send the sun away. The friends in the vegetable garden all call it Sunshine Lighthouse. That early morning, as soon as the sun showed half of its face, Yang Yang's flower head was already facing east, waiting for the sunlight to fall. Suddenly, it heard a soft woo cry. It was the little snail. Slowly, it wanted to climb to a high place to bask in the sun, but after climbing for a long time, it only reached the middle of the grass leaves. The morning dew soaked its shell, making it shiver with cold. Yang Yang quickly tilted the flower tray slightly, allowing the sunlight that had just reached it to fall right beside Meng Meng. Don't worry, my flower tray can shield you from the dew and also let you bask in the sun. Slowly climbing along the flower stem, I reached the petals under the flower head. The warm sunlight shone on the shell, and in no time, it wasn't cold anymore. It shook its antennae at Yang Yang and said, "Thank you, Yang Yang. Your flower plate is like a little sun, much warmer than the grass leaves." In the morning, the sun slowly rose above our heads, and Yang Yang's flower head also turned to the south. The little butterfly flower in the vegetable garden has been flying among the flowers for a long time. Its wings are almost tired from flapping. It wants to find a flat place to rest for a while, but the petals of other flowers are too small and it can't stand steadily. Hua Hu saw Yang Yang's big flower tray and quickly flew over, landing on the golden petals. "Yang Yang, can I rest on your flower tray for a while?" Yang Yang gently flattened the flower tray a little to make the petals more stable. "Come on, my petals are big and soft." Hua Hua lay on the petal, her wings slowly spreading out, and she also fanned Yang Yang. "Thank you, Yang Yang. Your flower tray is like a small stage, much more comfortable than other petals. I can even bask in the sun." At noon, Lele came home from school, holding a small notebook and colored pens, and ran to Yang Yang's side. Every day, she would draw a picture for Yang Yang to record its growth. Lele squatted beside, looking at Yang Yang's golden flower head and emerald green leaves, and began to draw carefully. She even drew a few small sunflower seeds in the middle of the flower head. After finishing the drawing, she held up the drawing book and said to Yang Yang, "Yang Yang, look. Your flower tray is a little bigger today. I even drew sunflower seeds that will grow in the future." Yang Yang's flower tray swayed slightly, as if smiling at Lele. The sunlight shone on the picture book, and Yang Yang in the picture seemed to brighten up as well. In the afternoon, a few dark clouds suddenly drifted in the sky, blocking the sun a little. Yang Yang's flower tray was still facing the sun. Soon, the dark clouds gradually dispersed and the sun came out again. Yang Yang's flower tray immediately turned around as well. In the vegetable garden, the little ant Guoguo led her friends to look for food. Just now, she was scared by the dark clouds and hid in a hole. Now that she saw Yang Yang's flower head facing the sun, she knew it was safe. She quickly led her friends out and climbed along Yang Yang's flower stem, hoping to find the aphids on the flower head as food. When Yang Yang saw the fruits, he quickly exposed the few little aphids hidden under the flower tray and said, "Guago, come here quickly. There's something you love to eat here." The fruits happily gathered around and waved their antennae at Yang Yang. "Thank you, Yang Yang. Your flower tray is like a little lighthouse. When we see you facing the sun, we are no longer afraid." In the evening, the sun slowly set in the west, and Yang Yang's flower head also turned to the west. The golden petals were dyed orange-red by the setting sun, as if sprinkled with a layer of honey. But Lele came to visit Yang Yang again and brought a water bottle. He watered it a little and said, "Yang Yang, today you helped Meng Meng, Wawa, and Guago. You are such a warm-hearted little son." Grandma also came over and touched Yongyang's flower tray, saying, "In a few days, there will be plump sunflower seeds growing in Yongyang's flower tray. Then let's roast the sunflower seeds until they are fragrant and share them with Lale's friends, shall we?" Yongyang's flower tray swayed slightly, as if nodding in agreement. When the moon rose, Yongyang's flower plate slowly drooped, as if it were also tired and needed to rest. The vegetable garden is quiet, with only the rustling sound of the evening breeze brushing against the leaves. Because of Yang Yang, this small vegetable garden has become increasingly lively and warm. Yang Yang knows that when the sun rises tomorrow, it will be able to follow the sun again, continue to help its friends around it, and wait for the sunflower seeds in the flower tray to grow up slowly. Then it will be able to share the sweet sunflower seeds with everyone. Such days are warmer than flower beds under the setting sun and more full of anticipation than sunflower seeds about to ripen. Little wooden horse Dada Dai's room companion notes. In the corner of the little boy Dodo's room, there was a small brown wooden horse. Dudu named it Dada. Dada's body is made of smooth wood, and a faint wood grain can still be seen on it, as if it were wearing a small coat with patterns. Its 4 short wooden legs stand steadily on the ground. There is a small red bell tied around its neck. When it is shaken, it will make a dingling, dingling sound. The cutest part is its little head, which is painted with a pair of round black eyes, as if it is always smiling at Dodo. Dudu has had Dada since she was 3 years old. Whether happy or sad, she would run to Dada's side and ride on its back, swaying back and back. That early morning, Dodo was a little unhappy as soon as he woke up. His mother said he was going to get an injection today. Just thinking about the needle made him a little scared. He sat by the bedside, pout his lips, and didn't even want to touch his favorite dinosaur toy. The Dada in the corner seemed to have read Dodo's mind. When Dodo walked over, the little bell around its neck suddenly shook slightly, making a jingling sound, as if greeting. Dudu squatted down, touched the smooth wooden body, and suddenly wanted to try riding it. He climbed onto Dada's back, grabbed its neck with both hands, and with a gentle force, Dada began to shake back and forth. The bell followed the jingle-jingle sound, as if saying, "Don't be afraid, I'll play with you." After swaying for a while, Dodo's lips gradually curled up. "Thank you so much, Da-da-da. Riding on your back, I don't seem so afraid of getting injections anymore." In the morning, Dodo's good friend Lele came to play at home. The two of them wanted to play the game night adventure, but they couldn't find a suitable horse after searching for a long time. Lele's saw the Dada in the corner and his eyes lit up at once. "Dodo, let's ride the Dada as knights. It also has a little bell. It must be particularly imposing." Dudu nodded. The two of them took turns riding on Dada's back, one as the knight and the other as the guide. Dada's bell kept ringing jingle jingle, as if singing along with their laughter, when they were tired from playing. The two still sat beside Dada and told it the story of the knight defeating the dragon. Lele also said Dada must be the bravest warhorse, even more powerful than the horses in the story. Dada's black eyes seemed even brighter as she listened quietly to their story. At noon, Mum was making lunch in the kitchen and asked Dodo to tidy up the toys in the room. Dudu was halfway through tidying up when he suddenly wanted to find a comfortable home for Dada. Dada had always been placed on the floor in the corner before, and he felt it was a bit cold. Dudu found her own small blanket and laid it under Dada. She also placed her favorite dinosaur doll beside Dada, as if she had found a companion for it. Mum came in and saw it. She smiled and patted Dodo's head, saying, "Our Dodo is so considerate. They even know to lay a blanket for Doda. Dada must be very happy." Dudu lay beside Dada, listening to the sound of stir-frying in the kitchen, feeling warm in her heart. In the afternoon, it suddenly started to drizzle. Dudu couldn't go out to play and felt a bit listless. He sat on Dada's back, swaying and swaying. Suddenly, he remembered the time when he and his parents went to the park to ride the big wooden horse. Before he pointed at Dada's eyes and said, "Dada, do you know, last time I went to the park, the big wooden horse was much taller than you, but I still thought you were the cutest because you were always in my room with me." Saying that, he gently patted Dada's body. Dada's bell rang again with a jingle, as if responding to him. Dudu just rode the Dada for the whole afternoon and made up many adventure stories about the little wooden horse Dada. She didn't feel bored at all. In the evening, the setting sun dyed the room orange-red. Dudu spread the drawing paper on the ground, wanting to draw a picture for Dada. He carefully drew the wood grain of Dada, the red bell, and the round black eyes. After finishing, he also drew a small self beside Dada, riding on its back and holding a small sword in his hand. Dudu stuck the picture on the wall beside Dada and said to Dada, "Dada, look. From now on, you and my paintings will accompany me. We will always be good friends." When the moon rose, Dodo lay on the small bed, looking at Dada in the corner. Its figure was quiet under the moonlight, as if it were also taking a rest. The room was quiet, with only the sound of rain outside the window and the occasional gentle tapping of bells in the wind. Because of the tapping, this small room became more and more lively and warm. Such days were more enjoyable than going to the park and louder than the red bells. The soft little earthworm's guardian story of the vegetable garden in Grandma's vegetable garden. There is a little underground hero hidden, a soft earthworm, which everyone calls Ruin Ruin. He was dressed in a dark brown tight-fitting suit, his body slippery and without limbs, yet he could nimbly crawl in and out of the soil, leaving narrow channels as if weaving a breathable small net for the soil. During the day, Ruan Ruin hides in the soil, and only at night does she quietly stick her head out to look at the stars in the vegetable garden. Grandma always says, with Ruan Ruin around, our vegetables can grow lush and green. At first, the little ants and ladybugs in the vegetable garden were a little afraid of him, thinking he looked strange, until a few minor incidents occurred. That early morning, the leaves of the little green vegetables planted by Grandma were a bit wilted, and the soil was so hard that not even rainwater could seep in. Soft, who had been hiding in the soil, sensed it and quickly scurried around beside the roots of the green vegetables. Wherever his body had crawled, the hard soil gradually became soft, leaving tiny holes that allowed air and moisture to seep in. It wasn't long before the little green vegetables gradually unfurled their leaves and turned lush green. Little Aunt Guagu passed by the green vegetables and saw Ruin in the soil. For the first time, she took the initiative to greet them. Ruin, so you are helping the green vegetables loosen the soil. No wonder the green vegetables look so energetic again. You're even more amazing than the little shovel. Soft poked its head out of the soil and gently swayed its body, as if saying, "This is what I should do." In the morning, as the sun gradually rose, little ladybug Dion was playing in the vegetable garden when she accidentally dropped her favorite red bead into the soil. It was a gift from her little owner, Duadwo Dion. Dion was so anxious that she rummaged through the soil but could unfind it no matter how hard she tried. When Guagu saw this, he quickly went to ask Ruin for help. Ruin, the little bead has fallen into the soil. Can you help it look for it? Ruin immediately got up at the spot where the beads had dropped. His body could feel the tiny hard objects in the soil. In no time, he pushed the small beads to the ground. Dion saw Ju, Z, and happily lay down beside Ruin. Thank you, Ruin. Your body is more sensitive than my little claws. I've finally found the pearl. From then on, the friends in the vegetable garden no longer found Ruin strange, and always came to play with him. At noon, Duadwo came to the vegetable garden to observe the nature work. She squatted on the ground, wanting to see if there were any small creatures in the soil. Grandma pointed at the soft earthworm in the soil and whispered to Duadwo, "Duadwo, look. This is the soft earthworm. It's a little hero in the vegetable garden. It can help the soil become fertile and make the vegetables grow better." Duadwo gently held Ruin in her palm. Ruin wasn't afraid at all and was still slowly crawling in her palm. Duadwo smiled and said, Ruin is so cute. I didn't know earthworms were so powerful. I'm going to draw them in my homework. She took out a drawing paper and carefully drew the image of Ruin bursling in the soil. She also drew green vegetables beside it and marked Little Hero of the Vegetable Garden Earthworm Ruin. In the afternoon, dark clouds suddenly drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Soft thought of the little snail in the corner of the vegetable garden. Slowly, its shell was a little cracked. Fearing that it would be washed into the deep soil by the rain, Ruan Ruan, quickly climbed to Meng Mang's side and used her body to dig a small pit around Meng Mang. Then she pushed the fallen leaves beside her to the edge of the pit, as if she had built a small house for Meng Mang. When the rain started, I slowly hid in a pit and wasn't washed away at all. After the rain stopped, I slowly climbed to Ruan Ruan's side and said, "Thank you, Ruan Ruan. Your pit is safer than my shell. I'm not afraid of the rain anymore." I shook my body gently and looked at the vegetable garden after the rain, together with Mengmen. The air was filled with the fresh fragrance of the earth. In the evening, the setting sun dyed the vegetable garden orange red. Duarduo showed her grandma the homework she had drawn and deliberately pointed out the soft parts to her grandma. Grandma smiled and picked a sweet strawberry for Duarduo and also left a small piece for Ruan Ruan to put in the soil that was Ruan Ruan's favorite food. The friends in the vegetable garden gathered around Ruan. Guaguo shared the breadcrumbs she had found, and Dian showed off the small beads she had lost and found again. They slowly lay down beside her to bask in the sun. Everyone was very happy. Soft and Soft lay in the soft soil, feeling that although she was unremarkable, she could help the green vegetables grow, find small beads, and build rain shelters. But it was much more interesting than just crawling round in the soil. When the moon rose, Soft slowly sank into the soil, getting ready to rest. The vegetable garden is quiet, with only the rustling sound of the evening breeze brushing against the vegetable leaves. Thanks to Ruan Ruan, this small vegetable garden has become increasingly fertile and lively. Ruan Ruan knew that when the sun rose tomorrow, he could continue to loosen the soil in the vegetable garden and play with his friends. Such days were sweeter than the food in the soil and more comfortable than the soft soil. The sweet memories of the Little Peach's pink orchard in Grandpa's orchard. There is a tall peach tree. At the very top of its branches hangs the most eye-catching peach, and everyone calls her Fen. Her body was plump and round. She wore a tender pink coat, which was covered with a layer of fine white down, as if sprinkled with a handful of white granulated sugar. On her head was a small green hat, 2 tiny peach leaves. When the wind blew, they swayed gently, as if greeting a passing bird. When the peach leaves are not yet ripe, they are green. After being exposed to enough sunlight, they will gradually turn red from the tip and eventually become tender pink all over. They will also give off a sweet peach fragrance. Even butterflies flying by can't help but stop on the peach leaves to smell them. That early morning, just as Fen was moistened by the morning dew and shone brightly, she heard the anxious Gigi sound. It was the chirping of a little sparrow. It had been flying for a long time, its stomach growling with hunger, but it couldn't find anything good to eat. Shu landed on the peach branch and smelled the sweet fragrance on Fen. Its eyes lit up immediately, but it was afraid that its little paws might damage Fen and dared not approach. Fen quickly shook the little peach leaf on top of her head and said, "Shu, don't be shy. The fragrance on my body is inviting you." Shu carefully pecked at a small bite of Fen's flesh. sweet juice spread in its mouth. It happily flapped its wings and said, "Thank you, Fen Fen. Your flesh is sweeter than nectar. I'm finally not hungry." In the morning, the sun rose slowly. The little snail in the orchard was slowly looking for the sweetest dew, but after crawling for a long time, it only found a few slightly astringent leaves. Slowly smelling the sweet fragrance of the powder, I climbed up the tree trunk slowly and waved my antennae at the powder. Powder, powder, do you know where there is sweet dew water? Pinfen pointed at the morning dew on her peach leaf. It was deliberately kept by her, shiny and still carrying the fragrance of peaches. Slowly lying on the peach leaf, she sipped the dew in small mouthfuls and shook her shell at Fenfen. "Thank you, Fenfen. Your dew is much sweeter than the one I found, and it even carries your fragrance." At noon, Duadwul, a little girl from the neighbor's house, came to the orchard to help her grandpa pick fruits. She immediately saw the pink ones at the top of the branches and her eyes lit up. "Grandpa, this peach is so pink. It must be extremely sweet." Grandpa smiled and nodded, then brought over a small stool and asked Duadwa to carefully pick off Fenfin. Duadwa held Fenfin in her palm, reluctant to eat it immediately. She whispered to Fenfin, "Fenfin, you are so beautiful. I'm going to take you to Lele to have a look." Pinfen lay in Duadwa's palm, feeling the warm temperature and feeling sweet in her heart. It turned out that she was not just a peach, but could make a child so happy. Duadwo took Fenfen to look for her good friend Lely. When Lely saw Fenfen, he immediately cheered. "Wow! This peach is more pink than any I've ever seen. Let's treat it as the little star of snacks and playhouse." They found a clean lotus leaf as a plate, placed the pink powder in the middle of the leaf, and also found a small branch as a fork, playing the afternoon tea game one after another. Tired from playing Duadwo and Lely shared Fenfen together, they took bites each other, and the sweet flesh made both of them laugh so hard that they squinted their eyes. Lele said while eating, "This is the sweetest peach I've ever eaten because I shared it with Duadwu." In the afternoon, dark clouds suddenly drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Fenfen recalled the little ladybug Diandian in the corner of the orchard. Its back shell was a bit cracked and it was afraid of getting wet by the rain. Fenfen quickly asked the peach friends who had not yet been picked to shake the branches, using the rustling of the leaves to remind Dian. Dian heard the sound and quickly climbed to the branch where Fenfen had been hanging before. This peach leaf was big and green, just right to keep off the rain. When the raindrops fell with a drip-drip sound, the dots lay under the leaves and shook the spot in the direction before the pink powder. "Thank you, pink powder. Your reminder came faster than raindrops. I didn't get wet at all." In the evening, the setting sun died, the orchard orange-red. Grandpa washed the peaches he had picked and put them in a plate. Duadwo and Lele surrounded them. He also invited Juju and Mungmung. Mungmung was lying on the edge of the plate to have a sharing session together. Grandpa picked up a peach and said with a smile, "Look, the tiny peach can not only fill your stomach, but also help friends and bring happiness. That's the sweetest part." Eduardo and Lele nodded half understandingly and picked up another peach. Today's peach seemed sweeter than usual because it contained Fenfen's enthusiasm. When the moon rose, the orchard was quiet, and the remaining peach branches were still gently swaying. Although Fenfen was eaten, her sweetness remained in Eduardo and Lely's mouths, and her enthusiasm stayed in Juju and Mung Mung's hearts. When Grandpa was clearing the plates, he carefully collected the pink peach pits, planning to plant them in the orchard again next year. He knew that next spring new peach saplings would sprout here and new pink would grow, continuing to spread sweetness and joy in the orchard. Such days would be sweeter than the flesh of peaches and more colorful than the outer skin of the pink.